Well, Mum, this is your next video. As you can see, my petunias are doing really well up on the roof outside my bedroom window, and my Canadian palm tree is doing well. I'm just going to approach my pine, which you can see is doing really well. Had a wonderful growing season. And yes, there are the lilies I was telling you about that we've been waiting to bloom, and that make walking by my house so lovely. And of course I have some daylilies, the yellow, and some daisies and some poppies, and of course a few raspberries back there. And turning around, oh, there's the hosta that I brought from your garden on Crestview, and they've been in bloom for a while and obviously doing really well. And there's a bee. Notice there's a bee right there flying. Well, it flew away. And my potted plants on my steps are just doing really well. We had a heavy rain last night, so some of them are not quite open all the way yet, but there's another lily that's growing up there, and I've forgotten what this stuff is called, but it died in this couple of areas, and it'll regenerate, I'm sure. There's some oh well, who knows what they're called. And I'm just going to whip around over here and shut the gate between the houses. But you can see that my neighbor keeps between the houses very nice because well, it's the best way to get into their garden, and so they're keeping it all nice. And there's my water barrel, one of them in the front, and the gate that I made to keep everything looking nice. And so we're going to now walk around to the back of the house to see how things are going. Oh, those are lovely lilies. They're just bursting forth right now. And those are my rocks that I brought from Lake Superior, the shores of Lake Superior, to cover my geothermal well. And another hosta from your garden. And my nice cedars. And of course, the lilac is forever doing well along the lane. And as you can see, coming up here on my green wall along the side of the garden, which is actually just a lattice, it's covered with creeper, I have some giant sunflowers that have yet to bloom. And I think it's because they don't get quite as much sun as other parts of the world, and so they'll be blooming later. Oh, there's an old chest of drawers and my garage. And now we're going to go into the back garden, reminding you that at any time if you press pause on the video, you can look at stills or something in particular. Oh, there's my crowded backyard. And whatever these things are called at the bottom, and my thing. Everything's a little bit beaten down today after the heavy rain. Ah, there's the raspberries. Oh, yes, there's a raspberry worth eating right now. I had a bowl of them with my breakfast cereal. And you can see my zucchini, which is blooming, and I've actually eaten some zucchini already. And I think this is an acorn squash that I have climbing up these poles. This is called vertical gardening, and instead of having these creepers grow along the ground and take up space, we grow them up into the air, and they get more sun, and we use our area much better. So there's my kiwi bushes on the kiwi vine on the side. No sign of any fruit yet. And my jungle of a greenhouse with some tomatoes ripening there. I think I will have those with supper today. And more squash growing there and some lettuce. And my beans are in pots hanging, so they're very easy to pick. But as you can see, the greenhouse is rather occupied. And of course I have my hanging tomato plant here, which is very handy for me when going up and down the steps. So one last little circuit around here. Whoops. Going on here. And here we are looking at another one of my bean plants. These are purple beans. When you cook them, they turn green, but they are absolutely delicious. And another tomato. And some carrots in the bed along below all these squash and cucumbers. And then one last look at that acorn squash at the top of this vine. We'll see how they develop in the next few weeks. All for now. Hope you enjoyed that.